It's 6 a.m. and you've already been up for an hour. In that hour, you showered, packed your bag for work, including a healthy lunch and snacks. Another bag is full of breast pump parts, ice packs, and cleaning supplies. You also packed a bag for your 7-month-old daughter who goes to daycare every day for 8 to 10 hours. Her cooler contains 6 bottles ready of that precious milk you've stored up. Whoops, yesterday's report said she needs diapers. Better pack extra of those. Time to wake up your sleepyhead and get her dressed and ready while Dad showers. Once he's out, he loads her in the car and you both go your separate ways. He drops her off every morning before work while you make your commute. After being back at work for a few months, you've finally gotten this morning routine down. But should you really be making this mad dash every morning to get back to work so early in your child's life? The first year is full of milestones. How much are you going to miss? There are only 3 countries left in the world that do not guarantee paid maternity leave, and the U.S. is one of them. Among industrialized countries, we are the last to adopt a paid leave policy. The pressures of returning to work in the U.S. are monetarily driven, but do the negative consequences outweigh the amount of money you gain by returning? What are the medical benefits for both mother and child of ensuring mothers or fathers can stay home with their children through crucial developmental stages? According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, only 12% of Americans have access to paid parental leave, most of which is a benefit provided by their employer. 4 states have publicly funded maternity leave: California, New Jersey, Massachusetts, and Rhode Island. The amounts guaranteed vary state to state and all typically supplement the federal requirement of unpaid leave. They do not extend it. This federal policy, the Family Medical Leave Act, guarantees employees up to 12 work weeks of unpaid leave with no job or benefit loss. Unfortunately, studies show that only 59% of U.S. workers are covered by this act. Those who work for companies with more than 50 employees that worked 1,250 hours during a year are the only people eligible. The larger tech companies are among those with the best maternity leave policies. Google, for example, allows mothers 18 weeks and fathers 12 weeks of paid time off. They reported a 50% decrease in the rate at which employees left to start their families. Studies in the states that support public paid leave similar to Google's employer benefits show that it's good for business. After the implementation of paid leave, 91% of businesses say it had a positive effect on profitability, or that it had no negative impact at all, at least. What do employers get out of paid leave? The retention of their employees. No money spent recruiting, hiring, and training qualified candidates. Women therefore suffer less of a wage gap because they are able to continue to grow with the same company they started with before beginning their families. The problem is, the people that need this paid maternity leave the most aren't the ones receiving it. They don't work for these larger companies. Lower income families that live paycheck to paycheck tend to go back to work because they have no other option. There are also health benefits to maternity pay for both mother and baby. Research shows that having paid parental leave can reduce the infant mortality rate by as much as 10%. According to a study done in 2011 of 141 countries with paid leave policies, guaranteeing leave also increases the chances of children attending well visits with their pediatricians. Not only do these children get the proper vaccinations and checkups, but the duration of breastfeeding increases when mothers are given this paid leave. A study done in California shows that women who received leave breastfeed their children on average twice as long as mothers who return to work sooner. This affects the long-term health of children, arguably decreasing the amount of time parents take off to take care of their sick children in the future. According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, breastfed babies are at lower risk for infection, asthma, obesity, and sudden infant death syndrome. A mother's health is also said to benefit from breastfeeding, decreasing the risk of developing certain cancers, such as ovarian cancer, and even type 2 diabetes. When given the opportunity to spend a longer maternity leave, women also showed less signs of postpartum depression. It's 4 p.m. and time to pick your daughter up. You grab the daily report from the daycare provider and see that today your daughter crawled for the first time. The past few nights at home, she seemed very close to it, but unfortunately you weren't there to see her first real-time exploring. The reality is something new is happening every day that someone else has the joy of seeing first. I'm actually sitting here giving you this speech while on maternity leave myself. My employer just added 3 weeks of paid maternity leave this year to our benefit package. I'm lucky enough to not be financially motivated to return after this 3 weeks is up, but not every mother is this lucky. The United States should begin to look at paid maternity leave as encouragement for parents to stay home with their children longer in order to form this bond and allow them to see these first.